War for the Planet of the Apes in 3D, a 2017 release, a 2-hour and 20-minute film. 2.39 to 1 aspect ratio, so you will get the black bars at the top and the bottom if you're watching this on a television set or on a screen like I have here. 7.4 on International Movie Database right now, 94% critics approval score on Rotten Tomatoes, 84% audience approval score on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Matt Reeves. This stars Andy Serkis as Caesar, Woody Harrelson as the Colonel. You've got Steve Zahn as the Bad Ape. We'll talk about that in a minute. You got Amaya Miller as Nova, the beautiful Amaya Miller as Nova. Listen, what do you got here? This is the third in the trilogy. It's the last one in the trilogy. They're talking about perhaps making more. There is room in here to continue a story, but this is the end of the trilogy. The second one and the third one were 3D. The first one was not 3D, so I have not seen the first one. I did watch the second one and the third one. I want to say this about this movie. You do not have to watch those first two to enjoy this film. You don't have to. They give you a little bit of prologue in the beginning, kind of gives you the story. It helps too, of course, it does. You're better off doing that, but you don't have to enjoy this film. This film is an excellent standalone film on its own, but if you want the rest of the story, then you're going to have to watch 1 and 2. A little bit, listen, I'm going to give you a couple of facts here. There was 1,500 jobs created for this movie. So much thought was put into this movie. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I want to talk a little bit about the color palette here. The color palette, it's a lot of blues and greens. It's a cool feeling, you know, like the old Ektachrome film. You know, Kodachrome was warm and Ektachrome was cool. You got that cool feeling here. Soundtrack is just awesome. Awesome soundtrack. Builds when it needs to build for tension. It's just incredible soundtrack. They filmed this in Vancouver, and there's some spoilers here, folks. If you don't want to know anything, then just go away, but I'm not going to ruin the movie for you. There's a scene in here where they exploded a tanker, and it shook Vancouver. A lot of people in the town were calling up, what the hell just happened? So if you are wondering what that explosion was in 2017, you lived in Vancouver, now you know it was during the filming of this movie. So what do you got here? You got Caesar. He's leading the apes. They're out in the woods. They want to get away to safety. They want to get somewhere away. And something very traumatic happens with him and his family. And then he needs to seek revenge. He feels he's going to send the apes away, get out of the woods. I got to get revenge. It takes him over. And this is really where, to me, okay, this is called The War for the Planet of the Apes, but to me, a better title for this would have been The Adventures of Caesar's Revenge, because that's really what it is. It's an adventure story of him on his revenge. And like I said, there's going to be some spoilers here. To me, the war was between the humans, and the apes kind of got caught in the middle of that. But you see these previews and everything, you think they're riding out against the humans and everything like that. So, but that doesn't take away from the movie. Let me tell you that right now. An incredible adventure, a really heartfelt adventure. A lot of father-son element here, father-son stuff. You're going to cry. You're going to cry in this movie. You just are. And you become an ape in this movie. You feel for the apes so much. You're suddenly, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it, but you become an ape. You feel like you're pulling for the apes. You feel like an ape in this movie. It's unbelievable. Let's talk a little bit about the stars and their roles. Andy Serkis as Caesar. We're talking about Caesar here. Andy Serkis pulls this off. You might remember he also played Gollum in Lord of the Rings. Absolutely phenomenal acting. And this is that motion capture. It's actually him, and then they put the CGI ape stuff on him. And it's just such a great job. Such a great job. Let's talk about Woody Harrelson. Oh my gosh, Woody Harrelson as the Colonel. He's the evil villain in this, if you want to say that. I have never seen Woody Harrelson act like this in any film, ever. I wouldn't even believe he could have pulled it off. You know, I couldn't believe he pulled it off. Such tenacity. So nasty, so It's just an amazing job that he pulls off here with and he has some emotion here too. He's wrestling with some demons. And I don't know how to say it, but he's just so cold in here. And then yet you feel for him. So anyway, I don't want to ruin it too much for you on that. You've got Steve Zahn as Bad Ape. He's called Bad Ape. He's a really great character in here. They come across him on their adventures, and he is going to be the catalyst for bringing future movies forward. He brings a little bit of humor that's here. There is some humor here, and he brings that out. You'll get a few laughs, a few chuckles here, but for most part, this movie is very serious. And you got Amaya Miller as Nova, the lovely, cute Amaya Miller as Nova. She plays basically a mute girl here. I'm not going to tell you any more about that. I think that's about it for the movie. I don't want to ruin it for you. I want to say something though. I will watch this again. This is a movie that I will watch many times. Let's talk about the 3D now. Sorry about that. Let's talk about the 3D. Where are we at? We're at 6 minutes. I didn't talk about it. The 3D. Let me put it this way. It is delicious. It is indescribably delicious. It's perfect. The depths. It's always there. You got foreground. You've got heads sticking back out. You got guns poking out. You got things flying out of the screen, but not in a hokey way at all. It's not hokey at all. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Snow scenes, snow falling in the room. And by the way, when they filmed this, they were actually filming in some real snow scenes in Vancouver. So it just feels like it's really snowing in the room. Absolutely phenomenal 3D. I wouldn't want to watch it any other way. It's a mild 3D. You're not going to get any kind of headache or eye strain from it at all. Yeah, if nobody's ever seen 3D, it's reference quality. It really is reference quality. Some of the scenes are just incredible. You feel like you're in the jungle. You feel like you're walking through doorways. You feel like you're looking down in holes. Fantastic 3D. Amazing. All right. I don't want to make this too long. So what I'm going to do with War for the Planet of the Apes, I'm going to say you should definitely pick this up. I'm not going to break precedent here, but if I could go over 5, I would for the movie. But I'm going with a 5. High five for the movie. 5 stars for the 3D. High five for the movie. 5 stars for the 3D. So let me ask you, what do you think? Did you see it? Did you see it in the theaters in 2017 in 3D? How was that experience? Leave some comments below. Did you see it in 2D? Maybe you saw it in 2D. Tell us about your experience with that as well. I want you to stay safe. I want you to have a good night. Hit that like and subscribe button. I got a lot more reviews coming out. And as always, I want you to have a great night and God bless.